everyone. So today we have Dr. Joshna Choudhary, who has scored an amazing score of 214 in the recently conducted FMGE July 2023, and that too in her very first attempt. And so heartiest congratulations, Joshna, on your success, and to your family as well.
Thank you so much, Dr. Nikita. Thank you so much.
And Joshna, we would like to know something about you, done your MBBS from, and how's it? Yeah, am I audible, Joshna?
Yeah, now I could not hear your previous question.
Okay, yeah. So we were asking, like, where have you done your MBBS from, and how was your medical journey?
So I did my MBBS from New Vision University, Georgia, and it was really nice experience, and it has helped me grow as a person mostly, and it was a really nice experience to move out of your comfort zone and do something different.
I mean, that's great. So, Joshna, how does it feel like, cracking the FMG exam and to be in that, the 10% students who are able to clear this exam? I'm sure you must have put a lot of hard work. And to know about, what was your strategy that helped you crack this exam, so that we help the future aspirants also to do the same.
Yeah, so like when I saw my result, I was not able to believe this. Like my dad was sitting with me and he was seeing and he was getting happy when he saw 214, and I was like, no, this is not mine, you're seeing someone else. And like we rechecked for like 4 or 5 times, and then we were like, sure, okay, this is yours. I was like, no, this cannot be me, because like when I checked the recall, I thought I'll get like 180, 190. So this was like unexpected.
So the results have come as a pleasant surprise for you. So
Yeah.
I mean, that's great. So the reality struck, now we have to start preparing for FMG, and I should be taking it seriously. So when did that happen?
So like I flew back from Georgia in Jan, because that's when I did my graduation, and I started preparing from like first. I was like waiting for 1st of Feb, so I'll start on a new day. So like that's when I started, and initially the preparation time was not like very well. It was like 5 hours or 6 hours, but I was like trying to be very consistent. I was like, it's okay if I do it for 1 or 2 hours. I'll just do it every day. I'll do something every day, and I'm really thankful that the exam did not happen in June, because I was not prepared. I was like really happy. I was like, I think this is for me. God has blessed me, so I should make use of this. And like I started, and like the main preparation time for me was May, June, and July. So like my strategy was like not to burn out in the initial days. So I was trying to keep it easy initially, so I can like use my full energy in the end. So like that's what I tried to do. So like initially I used to study for like 6 hours, maybe even 4 hours someday, and 7, 8, and then initially it build up to 13 hours and 14 hours, even 30, 14 hours, like 1 week before the exam.
I mean, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And so how did the prep ladder help you in your journey? Like, you prepared being at home and utilizing the online resources only. So how did prep ladder help you?
So like PrepLadder was like really helpful, as it was online, so it was like really comfortable to use it at your own pace. And so like I did watch the main videos before when I was in med school, like along with my subjects, like the subjects I was rotating in the university. So like tried to finish the major subjects in the university, but like by the time of the exam, I did not have time to go back to the main video. So I started with rapid revision, and I think rapid revisions are like very efficient. If like you have a good knowledge or a good base, then they are really good for you. And for like short subjects which are from which you get like 4 or 5 questions, I think rapid revisions is like really nice, because I used it and I know most of the subjects I did from rapid revision, and it was really nice.
All right. So basically, you mean to say that you've been using PrepLadder right from your undergraduate days?
Yeah, I think from my third year. Yeah.
Okay. So what would be your suggestion to the future aspirants, who are looking for guidance that how do I use the platform? Main videos or the rapid revision videos?
For the students who are appearing in December, I don't think it would be possible for them to finish everything and then revise, because revision is the main thing. It doesn't matter how much you study, how much you revise, that is like the main point of the exam. So I would suggest them to go through the rapid revision, and then when they solve the PYQs, they'll get to know like what is the important topic, and they can go back to main videos for that, or the topics they feel they are weak in, they can refer to the main videos for that.
I think that's the best way to hit the balance. Like, referring to the main videos for the topics that you find difficult to grasp from rapid revision,
Yeah.
like just the selective stuff. So you mentioned that, the PYQ, solving the PYQs helps us understand that what topics are to be focused on from a particular subject. So how many years and which exam PYQs did you do?
So I did all the PYQs which were available on the app. It is from 2018, I think, 2018 to 2023 Jan exam. So I did all, and additionally, I also did NEET PG, because I realized like few of the topics were repeated in both the exams. So I thought I'll just try to cover it all. So that's so I tried to finish everything from the NEET PG as well as the FMGEs.
Oh, I think that's pretty awesome. I mean, where the majority of the students struggle even to complete the FMG PYQs, you could manage to complete the NEET PG PYQs as well. So do you think that really helped, and would you suggest the future aspirants also, no, you should be doing the NEET PG PYQs also?
I think yes, because the exam we had, it was not similar to the FMG exam. It was like towards the neat kind of the questions were like very twisted and they were tough. So I would suggest them to go through NEET PG, so they get used to like different kind of questions. Just for the experience, they can go through different kind of questions.
All right. So, but then we got to know, okay, like this exam did not have a lot of, the PYQs repeated per se. But then if I ask,
Yeah.
how many previous year topics do you think were important? I mean, how valid are they still?
I think they are valid, because some of the topics, like usually they ask you like direct questions like how do you diagnose this or how do you treat this, but this time that was already mentioned in the question. So like just don't go through the usual things, like try to dig deep into the topic. Yeah, just don't go through the question, or like don't ratta the question and like okay, I'll get this. That's not possible now.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, so we get the point. So basically, it's not the previous year questions like to be mugged up, but it's the previous
Yeah.
to be read in detail that definitely help in understanding and filtering the content that you need to read for your exam.
Yeah, and like the more questions you solve, you learn more things, because like when I used to read something, I think I was absent-minded, or I was like, oh, I did not read this. But like when I solved the question and read the explanation, I was able to remember it more. So I was like, so like when I used to go back to notes again, I was like, oh, this was there, but I did not pay attention. So like that's how the questions help you.
Absolutely. I can't agree to it more because even I believe the same. When you solve the questions, you remember things better. You
Better,
remember,
yeah.
"Oh, this is where I made a mistake in solving that question, and that helps you to remember better. So when did you start practicing the questions from the Q bank? Like, was it from your day one itself? Whatever topic I'm reading, I'll do the respective MCQs, or was it once you finish the entire subject and then you would do the MCQs? What was your approach?
No, I think I started it from the start. So like when I started with the subject, I'd take 3 or 4 days if it's a short subject to finish, and right after that, I'll do the PYQs.
Okay. So
Yeah.
how did you find Q bank, the PrepLadder's Q bank, the type of questions, do they practice, do they give you the practice to get you ready for the real exam?
Yeah, I think the questions are very well prepared. Also, the explanation is like to the point. There's nothing extra, nothing less. And I like how they rule out the options. So, like, they explain all the four options, like why A is not the answer and why B is the answer. So, I really like that, how they rule out the option, because at the end in the exam, we should be able to rule out the wrong options.
Yeah, absolutely true. So that's the trick there. In the exam hall, you have four options. So if you don't know the correct answer, basically you rule out the rest of the three and you come to the correct. And with the recent update in the PrepLadder Q Bank where we explain each option, I think that is where it trains you for that in ruling out the options, like you rightly mentioned. So what would be your suggestion for the future aspirants? Like they should be doing the entire Q Bank or the custom modules, selectively do that. What would be the approach?
So I did not do the entire Q bank. So I'm not sure like if they should do that. If they have time, they can do that, or at least for the important topic wise, they can go for the Q bank, or like frequently occurring topic, they can use the Q bank. I mostly use the PYQs. So like I can tell about that.
Okay, all right. So PYQs were your mainstay, and like
Yeah,
and you practiced new questions basically from the grand test as well, right?
yeah.
So how was your performance in the grand test?
So like when I some grant tests were like PYQ based, and so I was able to score good in that. And some grant tests were like really new. So like I think I scored 190, 189 or 190 in the grant test.
So when was your first, or you started earlier?
Sorry, I missed your question. There was some connection problem.
Am I audible now?
Yeah.
So I was asking, like, when did you start giving the grand test? Like when you finished all 90 subjects, or you started well before that?
I was really scared to like do the grant test early. I should have done it earlier, but I was like really scared. I was like, what if I don't score good? So I did it when I finished all the subjects. I was not able to do the revision, but I think I did my first grant test in June, and then in July. I think I gave total like 4 or 5 grant tests in total. Yeah, till the exam.
Okay, so I think one of the few toppers who I'm seeing ki grand test we gave towards the end, right? The normal feeling ki, that's fear ki what if I don't score good and that I lose my confidence. So, but do you think that, given time or you would have given the grand test earlier?
Yeah, I think I would have. I think you should just have confidence that it's okay. Or sometimes we tend to get demotivated after a grant test, but I used to tell myself, it's okay. I learned new questions or new things, so it's okay. Yeah, and it's like very important to review the grant test after that.
All right, correct. So how did you review the grand test? Like all the questions or just the wrong questions? What was
No,
your
just
approach?
just the just the wrong ones. I was not very patient to go through everything, so I just go through the wrong ones and see like where did I go wrong, or like what was I thinking mostly. Like did I knew this thing, or this is something wrong, or I was mostly trying to analyze if I did a silly mistake or this was completely new and I couldn't do anything about it.
Oh, that's great. So basically learning using grand test as a learning tool and an improvisation tool basically, so that you don't repeat the mistakes in the
Yeah.
final. I mean, that's great. And what was your score in the PrepLadder's mock test that was there?
I scored 189.
Okay, and you scored 214 in the final exam.
Yeah.
That's great. I mean, pretty close. That's amazing. Coming back to your, the one day before the exam, what was your approach? Like, are you a student who just shuts off no reading, or you're like reading till the last moment?
No,
What did you do on the?
I was reading till I reached the examination hall. I was sitting in the car and I was still reading it. So I made a list of topic which I should do in the last 2 days. So I already prepared a timetable, and I listed few things like this is what I should do on the last thing, because even if I do it early, I'm not going to remember it. So I was doing all the cancers for different subjects. I was doing it, and then the PSM images and bone tumors. I don't remember that. I don't know why. So I kept that on the last day. So I was just going through that, and then the autosomal dominance examples and everything like that. Yeah, so that was my last day thing.
So how did you filter out? Okay, this is something that I need to read in the last 2 days.
Because like when I used to do GTs or like solve some question, I knew the thing, but I was like, oh shit, I don't remember the answer. So like that's how I know like this thing I'm not going to remember till the end. So let's keep it for the end. I'll revise it one day before exam.
Okay. So how did you get that your own handwritten notes, or you highlighted in the printed notes that are available from PrepLadder? How did you get it at one place?
I used the printed notes and then I highlighted, or like if I found something additional, I would just write the points. Yeah.
Okay, okay, that's great. And then how was the experience in the exam hall? I'm sure there must have been questions which gave you that feeling, oh, the exam seems very difficult. So how did you try to maintain your calm at that time?
I think even if it's an easy exam, everyone is going to think it's a difficult exam because even for me, so like when my friends asked how was the exam, I was like, I'm not sure if I knew it was not too bad, but it wasn't even good. So I was like, it's okay. So I'm like, when they'll see my score, they'll think I was lying, but I was not lying.
Right. I mean, that's very true that, we every exam, the student who gives that exam feels that this was the most difficult exam
So
ever that has
yeah,
happened.
yeah.
Yeah, yes. Yeah. So, but then how did you maintain your calm in the exam hall, when you saw some difficult questions, so you did not know the answer?
So I was just going through the question and I was like, okay, I'll come back to this. And I think I was doing the questions very fast. I don't know how I was doing it so fast because when I did the first one, I still had 1 hour. So I was like, I was trying to do the questions really fast, and then I was like, okay, I'll come back to the questions again. And so I went 3 times to the whole questions. I went
Oh,
3 times, and then there was still like 10 minutes left. But I was worried, like if I look through them once, I'm going to change some more answers. I was like, I'll just sit quietly. So I still had some time left. So I was just maybe that was because I solved so many PYQs. So like my speed was like really faster. So
okay.
I was able
So
to
basically,
save some time.
the MCQ practice, all the grind that you do during the preparation helps you in the final exam.
Yeah. So like when you see the question, you know, like, okay, which direction you have to think.
And what is your approach to the clinical long stem questions? There were quite a few clinical long stem questions this time. So did you
Yeah.
have tricks to solve them?
So like if there's an image, I'll just go through the image first and then come back to question. And like mostly I'll just read the 2 lines and see if there's something going in my brain, and then I'll start with the question.
Oh, that's great. Exactly what
Yeah.
I do as well.
Yeah,
That
yeah, I know.
yeah, pretty awesome. Okay, and then what did you do in the time part A and part B?
I'm so sorry, I could not hear you.
Yeah, am I? Yeah, I think it should be better now. Audible now?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So I was asking, what did you do in the break time between part A and part B?
I thought I was going to revise, but then I met all my friends who I haven't met since so many months. So like we were just eating and chilling. I did not study after that.
Okay, and did you discuss about part A? Kitna ganda
No,
tha?
yeah, just like it was not nice. It was ganda, but we did not discuss the question. We were like, it's okay, we'll discuss it later.
Okay, okay, all right. And but then after part B, you were satisfied ki, like, I'll get 214.
No, no, no. I was just like, I'll pass, but I was like, I told my parents, like, please don't expect a good score because I told them I have a target of 200, but when I reached home, I was like, I don't think I'll get 200, but I'll pass. Don't worry about that. I'll pass, but 200 to nahi ho payega.
Okay, that's great. I think they must be super happy seeing your results. Like you mentioned,
Yeah,
with you. So, a moment to cherish for sure.
yeah.
So just now, if I ask you that, if you had a chance to rewind your preparation and one mistake that you think ki shayad, ye nahi karna chahiye tha, and you would like to tell the future aspirants as well.
Yeah, so the one mistake I made was not revising enough. So I I I love watching videos. So like I'll just keep watching videos and then I okay, I'll read it later, but then you feel so fatigued at the end of the day, and I used to just keep on delaying that. And when it was the actual time to revise, I'll realize I don't remember things, and then I had to go back to videos again. So like that was the mistake I made. I think you
Right.
should just read it the day or the next day. Don't like drag it too much.
Okay, that's great. And one last question before we bid goodbye. What is something that always motivated you to give your best shot and that helped you tackle your bad days?
My parents, like seeing them what they did for me, that was like the biggest motivation I can ever have. So like,
I
yeah, so like just to know that they work hard for me, so like that was it. I didn't need anything else.
That's pretty awesome. Can relate to that for sure. That feeling, I want to make my parents proud. They should
Yeah.
be proud. We are Joshna's parents. I think that agree with you. Yeah. Amazing, amazing. So that was a great conversation, Dr. Joshna. Thank you so much for all the valuable inputs and insights that we have had. Just give me a minute to check the live chat as well. Had just a minute. Okay, we have one question from a viewer. Should be asking that. Should we give 2 grand tests simultaneously to increase our stamina for 3 hours? 2 grand tests simultaneously. I mean, they mean that एक के बाद
Back
एक
to
दिन में 2 grand tests दे दो.
No, I don't think so.
Seems
I
like
don't think
that.
you. No, you don't have to do that. You can just give one and just take a break for few days. Eventually, I started with 1 grand test in like 10 days, and then like once a week. And at the end, I think I did two in 1 week, but not more than that, because then you feel so tired when you give the grand test, and you won't be able to study after that because your head is rotating like I didn't score good or something like that. So like just stick to 1 grand test and you'll be good.
Okay. So we've got the answer, and we have one more question from Kapil asking. Kapil is in final year and wants to know that how should you start preparation for FMG for a final year student?
So like if he's doing in December, as I said, I think you should just stick to rapid revision because now it's not the time. Just whatever you do, make sure you revise it for like at least 2 to 3 times before you go for exam,
No, so
and
the
start with
student in final year of MBBS.
final year of MBBS. Oh, so he still has 1 year. He still has
Yeah.
more than 1 year. So I think he can start
Yeah.
from the main videos, and I would suggest him to go through the main subjects first, like medicine, PSN, surgery, OBGYN. Just go through them, solve the PYQs, and revise that. And if possible, try to make shorter notes for yourself. Don't make them too long. Yeah.
Okay, so I think that answers his question as well. And so I think those are the queries that we had from our viewers. And thank you so much, Dr. Joshna, for joining us and helping us know your strategy. That will definitely help our future aspirants as well. And thank you, everyone, for joining in. See you
Thank you
again
so
soon,
much.
Dr. Joshna. Meet
Thank you
PG
so
exam
much.
results. Thank
Thank
you.
you so much.
Bye.
Bye.